This video is made for adult collectors because right before this, my Age of Extinction leader Prime fell off the desk and his sword ejected and I have no clue where it's gone and that sucks. Great, I picked a white figure on a white desk. That means I'm gonna have to like, you know, push this down a bit to make that better, and then we're gonna push this setting down a bit, move that setting up. There you go, now you can distinguish it from the desk. I gotta transform this now so I can get started. Not really looking forward to that. This thing is so weird to me, cause what do you mean he fetches this much on the aftermarket? I thought the 70 Canadian dollars I got this for was pushing it, but like, damn, I also got it sealed, so there's that. This is a redeco that made sense using Prowl off the smokescreen mold, but I never imagined it would go for as high as over $100 in some places. This isn't a figure I hear a lot of people talk about, probably for good reason, and this isn't a deco of this figure that I ever hear anybody bring up. Probably because hardly anyone has it. Why is it selling for so much? This copy has also been sealed, as I said, for so long, because, you know, my local shop has had this for ages, and because it's been sealed for so long, it has issues. But that aside, this looks really nice. I much prefer the Prowl / barricade head on this mold over the smokescreen one, and not gonna lie, I just kind of prefer the vibe of this entire deco. Yeah, it's very plain, but that's just how I imagine Prowl to be, bland spaghetti dinner. And even though it is pretty plain looking, there is still a lot of paint on this. Pretty much all the black you see in the robot mode, save for some of the transformation hinges peeking out, that's all paint. The back of the figure is pretty clean, perhaps too clean, as a lot of it is just exposed transformation structure, but I'm not gonna lie, who cares? Who's really gonna be looking at it from the back here a lot? From most angles, you don't really notice it. The arms though, they have a lot of stuff hanging off of them, and it can make them slightly unwieldy, not to mention if you have the gun plugged into his hand and loose shoulders like mine, they cause problems. I also just noticed my figure has some overspray on the hand here. Well. I love how this figure achieves the door angles on the back. It's super simple but effective, because in the show, Smokescreen had like pointier door wings, and folding the windshields down kind of just completes that pointier shape. It's really cool. Also, this being based off the Transformers universe design is pretty neat. While he is a redeco of Smokescreen, he comes with less stuff, which at the time, seeing both of those on a retail shelf for the same price feels kind of eh. But he does come with the gun, at least. It doesn't fire super well or hold its missile in super well, because that spring has been compressed in the package since 2013. Good lord, this figure's 12 years old. While I don't miss the ugly armor, it would have been cool if they included something else to fill in that space left behind by those bits on Smokescreen. Mine also has loose hips, probably again from being cooped up in a plastic bubble for 12 years. He can articulate, just not super well. So he has joints, like he has all the things that, what are you doing? Nobody wants to see your wiener. So he has like articulation stuff and quite a lot of it, but he's limited in some areas that and some joints, like the shoulder specifically, are just really weird. So the head's on a ball joint. He can look up that far and down that far and then rotate left and right. Though the face does bump into these little collar pieces here, and I kind of worry that it might scratch the silver paint over time, so you just got to be careful with that. Also, the red on my copy's crest has a little bit of a chip there. It can tilt actually quite a bit, which I think is cool. And that light piping, that's so good. These shoulder pads, they can move up and out of the way, and this is where your weird shoulder joint is. It's at a slight downward angle, and it rotates, and then the shoulder pad gets in the way. But you can do a full 360. It just looks weird. It looks much better when the shoulder pad is down, obviously, but once you try to get like the arm up and out, it's very skeletal. Plus the ball joint itself is at a weird angle in the forearm or bicep. That's the forearm. He does have bicep rotation and single jointed ratcheted elbows for some reason. There's nothing at the wrist, and this arm junk doesn't tab in, so it likes to move a lot, which is a little frustrating. He does have a waist joint, which is nice. The wings just came undone. The wing peg, let's just go up to there real quick. This is not the most stable connection in the world, and I wish it was. It does click into place, but it takes like no effort to knock it out of place, and I find that when I'm posing it, this will just like move. The hips are on ball joints, so they can go forward that far, they can go back that far. They can go all the way up if you want them to like go all the way up, so that's nice. You do have thigh rotation, you have 90 degrees of bend at the knee. This bit right here doesn't like staying tabbed in. There's a tab right there that goes into the world's smallest slot, so it comes undone a lot. And then the feet can go forward and back, and there is no tilt, and they are shaped weird. My dog's barking. So the dog barked because 2 boxes arrived. I know what's in this one. I don't know what's in this one. So let's open this. I gotta be careful. My shipping label is just like all over this thing. And this box has seen better days. All right. Actually, I think I know what, oh yes, okay. This is not for me. This is for a friend of mine who, because of the Canada Post strike, he can't get stuff sent to his P.O. box, so he's sending it to me. Okay, this has been crushed. And in the rain, too, that's fun. Oh, my desk is wet now. Why do packages from AliExpress always come in, like, all this yellow tape? It's just funny. All right, let's get this. All right, we have bits. We have figure. We have another figure. Instructions. More bits. And the metal cards, because metal card bots. Yeah. I've been waiting for this package for ages. And it's finally, I'm very happy it's finally here. Now I gotta clean up the mess that is cardboard box all over my table. God, I really want to polish those hips, but aesthetically, I prefer this over the smokescreen mold. I mean, the barricade deco is probably the best one of the bunch, but this is still pretty nice. Now, the transformation is fine up until the arms, which get in their own way and everything else's way and have so many fit issues. It's the main reason I got rid of smokescreen. All right, let's make this and car. So, okay, doing the shoulders, there goes that. Doing the shoulders is not very fun. So to start with, we're going to take the shins and fold them around and then fold the feet up. Then take these bits, fold them down, and peg the legs together. And that's the easiest part out of the way. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the entire torso, rotate it 180 degrees, and then fold the chest flap down. Then we want to go pick up a different toy. No, you want to fold out the windshields and have your chair squeak, and then bring this section down, bring the head down, fold these panels up just to get them out of the way. Now you want to bring the wheels down. Now this ball joint that the wheel's attached to comes off all the time. And it did on my smoke screen as well. So that's a bit annoying, but you bring that down and around on both sides, bring that down and around. Then you want to take the arms and sort of, this is the part that's always annoying because you have to sort of fiddle it around the doors. And then, so what I do is I get the doors in place and then you bring this panel, this entire arm around like this on that black hinge. Just bring it there, flip it around, fold the windshield around while bending the elbow backwards to get the arm to sort of sit that way. And then we'll finagle it in properly in a second. So then you peg the arms together, right? And then there are pegs on the side of these windshield or windows that are gonna go into the arms, as well as pegs on the side of these that are gonna have to fit underneath here. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure the head is folded all the way in and peg the front together. Then bring the arms down and into their slots and then get these panels pegged in and then just get this whole thing sit flat. Then we're gonna fold the hood down. Now you have to be careful with this because the hood sits overlapping each other while you're transforming it, and this is matte black paint, so I fear it's going to scratch. It's also layered paint because it's black paint and then silver painted on top of that. But you bring this down and then this just has to flex around the doors here on either side, get that into place, and then just smoosh this down, make sure everything sort of fits, because right now it's bowing up a little bit at the front, so I gotta make sure everything's nice and lined up. And now the hood's split, but there you have not smoke screen, this is Prowl. There you have Prowl. The biggest issue is there is basically no clearance or grip on the arm parts when swinging them around, and making everything fit together is really difficult. Not to mention there's 2013 clear plastic all over it, so I worry about like the longevity of that. But this car mode is very nice. It's just a plain police car, but in pictures it always felt a bit bland, but in person it's still bland, but not as bland. I love the wraparound windshield. It's 4 parts, but smooshes together pretty well to give you one continuous motion at the front. The black on that hood is really nice too, though again, it is matte, so it will scratch easily, so that's something to be careful of. The back of the car though, for some reason, the plastic is a different color to the rest. It's easier to see in person than on camera. My camera's trying to color correct it. I don't think it's discoloration, because other copies the shop has had ages ago were the same. I thought it was a Palm ABS difference, but no, because both ends they have paint on them, and yet it looks different. It's just odd. The gun can store on the top. A cop car with the turret is kind of scary. It's apparently, at least according to the wiki, apparently based off a McLaren MP4-12C, my favorite McLaren, but putting it next to Widow, who is an actual MP4-12C, and I don't see it. My car-loving father couldn't tell what it was till I mentioned it to him. He thought it was a Corvette C6 or a Viper, which I see Corvette more on this than McLaren. Still a nice car though. I like the look of both modes a lot. The issue I have is the functionality of this mold. The robot does some slightly strange things, but its transformation is still not nearly as fun as I would like it to be. And not to mention how much this thing costs on the aftermarket. But as it stands right now, I wouldn't really recommend getting one. But that's my look at Transformers Prime Smokescreen. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. This is not Smokescreen, it's Prowl. That's, you know, idiot me. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.